Guys, welcome back again. Another recording, another video. I'm going to be talking about what is the narcissist cue to discard you, right? Um, a lot of people wonder and come to certain, or they ponder on how the narcissist went about discarding them, and they're left in confusion. Well, first we have to start off with the aspect of understanding that the narcissist, for the most part, most narcissists are natural entertainers. They're entertainers, and to be honest, that's the capacity that they function in while they're with you. They're an entertainer. Now, you, on the other hand, you're thinking that you're developing and um, you know, establishing a meaningful relationship, but in all actuality, you are um, an audience to an entertainer, which is the narcissist. Um, the narcissist basically gets off on the reactions to, from what they do at least, to people and how people react, therefore, from that. Okay? So you have to understand that dynamic. The narcissist performs purely for the praise, the admiration, you know um, the validation. These things, that's what they're performing for, right? Their currency, their most preferred currency, even over money, is that attention, that recognition, that sense of feeling powerful, the control. That's their currency. So while most of you, and all of us at least, that have engaged with these individuals have um, encountered this dynamic of the narcissist all of a sudden not wanting to deal with us anymore, or they start to slack off, or they start to drift. Well, it's kind of like, how can I put it? There was a show, it was a like TV series. It was called Showtime at the Apollo, right? And there would be certain acts that would go up on stage. It was like an amateur type of, kind of like the equivalent to, uh, what's those TV shows where you have the stars that come out, where they're made a star by how people, um, American Idol, those type of, that would be equivalent to American Idol at least. Well, anyway, Showtime at the Apollo, you go up, you perform your act, and the crowd, they would either boo you. It's kind of like the Gong Show, but they would either boo you or they would let you perform all the way out. Now, if per se, let's say you weren't performing very well, they had an individual that they called the Sandman who would come out and he would like rush you off the stage and like get you out of there if the crowd started booing, if you weren't, captivating your audience, then they would get you out of there. They would get you off the stage. Well, in some cases, when certain entertainers would go up and they would see that the crowd's not engaging and there were some boos starting to come, before the Sandman would even get up to the stage to usher them off, to rush them off the stage, they would remove themselves from the stage. They would just stop what they're doing and leave. Now, the reason being is that they knew what was coming, right? And they didn't want to go through with the full effect of having the Sandman um, push them off the stage and get them out of there, right? So they know it's coming. Well, that's kind of how the narcissist guys function when they know that their act isn't appealing to you anymore, because that's all you met in the first place is an actor or an actress. That's all you've met. That's all you were being entertained by, right? And so they pay attention, guys. You gotta understand this. They pay attention to every bit of, non-verbal expression that you may give, and verbal expressions based on how you interact with them. So, like, let's say in the beginning, when they do something wrong and they come back with the apology and all of that, they're getting off on the fact that they were able to get you to, forgive them, and you had that gleam in your eyes again, and you were still pretty much uh, unemotionally affected to where you were deeply involved still. Well, as um, the destruction of that relationship began to happen by the narcissist's doings, they noticed that your emotional responses and the way you react wasn't the way that it was in the beginning, meaning that it didn't have the intensity or the effect of fulfilling how they needed to feel for fuel, right? And so basically, when they started seeing the effect of you wearing off and weakening, it's kind of like the audience beginning to boo, beginning to be unsettled. They're not laughing at your jokes, or they're not clapping, or they're not giving anything for the performer to know that they are doing well to keep going, right? And so, with the narcissist being nothing more than a performer themselves, they basically understand and they know that if you are not reacting the same way, it's time for me to get off the stage, right? And they'll remove themselves. So basically, a lot of the discard has to do with your discovery or your lack of reaction and emotional energy going out towards them. It's weakened. They don't appeal to you as they did when they first met you, and you were in the love bombing stage, and everything they did, made you feel good. It made you react to the highest degree of extent of extending that gratitude and emotion towards them. That's what they get off on. That's what drives them. That's what fuels them. And so, because they are locked in that state and they are insatiable in that manner, they cannot sustain one individual in a healthy relationship in any kind of way. The discard is inevitable. They will remove themselves because the act from them gets old, because they destroy so much of the platform that they're working on, or they they well, let's say they abuse their position of power by having the other individual, really engaged in them, and many loving them, or having deep feelings for them. They abuse that. And once the person begins to react and feel differently about them, the narcissist goes immediately into discard mode, where they have to get rid of you, right? They have to leave, or they have to push you away. And this is a strong push. It's not, they really have to push you away. They really have to get rid of you, or they run. They get themselves out of it, because they know what's coming. They know what's coming. Just like that show Showtime at the Apollo. If any of y'all seen that, then y'all know what I'm talking about. When they start booing, the Sandman was about to come out. The sirens was about to come on, and the Sandman was coming out. And a lot of people would just walk off when they hear the boos coming, because they know they it's not working with the audience. Once the narcissist sees that their effect on you is not working anymore, they no longer desire or want to be with you. They know what's coming from that point. They already know that a discard of some type is coming, but they rather be the ones that is discarding, or can, to save face for them to say that they pushed you away, or they didn't want you anyway, or you wasn't good for them, and all these things, because they knew it. Basically, they wore their welcome out. They destroyed the relationship. They did so many things to violate trust, and so forth, that they know they have to leave. They have to walk out. They have to walk off the stage that they have been performing on with you. Their act is old. So basically, a lot of you may not see it or interpret it that way, but you have got tired of the act. It doesn't stimulate you the same way. Thus, therefore, in return, it does not stimulate them as far as fuel the same way from you, because your reactions aren't from an excitable disposition. It's more of disgust now of them. Even though a lot of you may still stay and stick in there, the narcissist knows that this is only because a lot of you don't want to lose what you've invested so much time into. But they know that you're pretty much fed up with them. They know that you're pretty much gonna get tired of anything that they do, and you're gonna be pretty much on the verge of getting rid of them anyway. They know it's coming. They know it's coming, and they pay very keen attention to every sign, the way you speak, talk, your body language, everything, to be able to get a heads up well ahead of time, to forecast and see where that's going, to know when it's their cue to get the hell out of Dodge, or to know when it's their cue to really start the being mean, disrespectful, and all of this stuff, so that they can internally in their mind say that they had this happen on their own terms and not because of you. It gives them, I guess, better. They can cope with that way of feeling and thinking about it better than you being the one to discard them, right? And so, just something to think about, guys, when you think about the narcissist discarding. The discard was actually triggered by you, because they knew they're only a performer. They're only an actor. And if their act's not good enough, they're out of a job. They have to walk off the stage. They don't get to come back. So that discard, their cue, is based on your reaction and your how well that they can appease you and satisfy you on an entertainment level, because that's all it is. That's all you have with them, is entertainment. You don't have anything significant or meaningful. So that's just something I want y'all to think about, guys. Um, do like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Share these videos. A lot of people can get something out of them. Make sure you share them. Also, follow me on Instagram at ASSC Direct. You can also go, I'll leave in the description box and in the comment section, my documentary, Departure of Empathy, the very first one. You can go and get your copy from there. There'll be a link where you can click directly and go get a copy of that. Very good information in there, guys. A lot of detailed descriptions and dramatizations of situations that narcissists use to benefit themselves, to target individuals. So definitely really good, something really good for you guys to have. Till next time, guys. Hope this resonates with all of you. Um, love yourselves. Have a good one.